Well, hello, and welcome, my Capricorn Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your work, career, and vocation read, a timeless work, career, and vocation read. I am your reader, fellow Earth sign, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal, for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Production since 1998, author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, available on Kindle, link in the description box, and creator on Patreon, patreon.com/drawingthecircle. Check it out. Why? Because I'm the Archangel of Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons. But you can call me Mal. Hey, my caps. Yeah, working on a Sunday. It's a timeless read whenever you're watching this. I am ready, willing, and able. Had my coffee, did my prayer, my meditation. So let's rock and roll. If you're new to the channel, work, career, vocation reads are actually a 3-level of power reading, looking at your life through the lenses of 3 different levels of power. There's a link in the description box to a Caroline Myss, MYSS PhD video. I learned about the 3 levels of power from her and have been applying it to many different areas in my life, as well as for my clients. I've been doing work, career, vocation reads for clients for a very long time, easily decades. Easily. So it is a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I'll explain the spread as we go. It's only 12 cards, but it can be really power-packed. It involves chakras. You'll see. We'll get there. But the most important thing is certainly check your other signs, because work, career, vocation, your sun sign's probably going to be more into work, right? The sun, the external world, what you're doing in the physical world. Your moon sign might totally be more into your career, your feminine energy inside, your passion, you know, what fulfills you that way. And who knows, your Venus or your rising could totally be about your vocation, your spiritual calling, right? The star that calls you forward on the path. So, you know, check your other signs. Both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. And let's see what hits the table, all right? Put my feet on the floor. Here we go. Breathe. Ground, earth signs. One more breath. And here we go. Using the Caroline Myss archetype cards, I call upon the collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of work, career, vocation, and the higher selves of all involved for the Capricorn Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading. Please, 3 cards. The archetypal dynamics in their work, career, and vocation, that 8th chakra vibe affecting what they attract and repel electromagnetically. And as much as they can want to buck that tide, you just can't. You can't. No, that's the archetypal power being developed within them. So please, for their work, first level of power, the physical world, their survival intuition, lower 3 chakra dominant, their career, heart, third eye crown, creativity, their creative intuition, their hunger, their passion, their thirst, what they yearn for, what they burn for, 2nd level, personal level of power. And 8th chakra dominant, the 8th chakra card for their vocation, their spiritual and mystical power, the symbolic level of power. What's going on in, their spiritual mystical power in their vocation, their calling. Let's see what hits the table here. And, well, this is lovely. This is actually a very, I'm not going to say light, like, it's all light, because there's shadow and light written on each of these cards. The shadow attribute, the light attribute. These are the challenges and the lessons. The shadow, the lead, the toxic, right? That through your work, career, and vocation, you are evolving, alchemizing, healing into the light. You got the visionary, the healer, and the dilettante. 2 creative family archetypes and a healing family archetype, and not just a healing family archetype, the healer, right? There's only like 5 or 6 archetypes in the healing family archetype, where the creative and the action, they got a lot of different ones, according to Caroline Myss, a Jungian base, forever young. So let's look at these in your work, how you navigate through the world, how you survive, right? The first level of power is the physical body. The shadow attribute, oh no, sorry, I reversed these. sorry, I reversed them. You got the visionary first. Now, the shadow visionary you see every day, selling insights to the highest bidder, compromising your vision to make it more acceptable. I have the visionary archetype. You can have an archetype, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I'm not a visionary 24/7, 365. No. It comes for a season, right? Creatively. And certainly I had the opportunity here to dumb down what I was doing on YouTube. Selling to the highest bidder. That's why I demonetized myself, and now I'm on Patreon, and I'm so much happier as an artist, right? A spiritual artist. So here's the light attribute. Capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others. That's my whole life I've been like that. I not just clairvoyantly, just sort of knowing, right? It's like, this is coming, you're out of your mind, and then it happens. Willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. And so I can say I've danced with that. I don't think it's every single day of my life. But the visionary is powerful. So, if you're working a job that's not fulfilling you, you might absolutely be tapping into something, seeing what's possible for you, though other people might not be able to see it. And I understand having to pay the bills, obviously. So, just as an example, how many artists in their career work day jobs, whatever, so that they can do their art. Now, here in your career, you've got the healer. So this speaks of healing heart, throat, third eye, crown, right? Lower three chakras, heart, throat, third eye, crown, 8th chakra over the head, 3 levels of power. We're looking at sort of like the major arcana of the healing family archetype, family thingy. The shadow attribute, taking advantage of those who need help, which, if you're watching my channel, is probably not the case. But failing to care for oneself. Healer, heal thyself. Not, you go to the divine, you ask for friends, you ask, for help. I barter with people. I will barter a needing, a massage for a reading, but they have to be LMT. I just don't want somebody who's like, oh, wrap your bag. It's like, no. No, if I'm going to give you $100 an hour for a barter, you better work me out. So the light attribute, passion, to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit, ability to help transform pain into healing. So look, if you really have claimed the name, the title, the archetype of the healer, a lot of us are. I mean, everybody can heal. That doesn't necessarily make everybody a healer archetype, reason, season, or lifetime. But if this is your passion, if this is your hunger, and then, you're having visions, right? And again, they need not be mystic crystal revelation. Sorry, it just haired us. Then certainly this can be about the world, right? You might be seeing things in the world that other people can't even conceive of, but the challenge is not to dumb it down and not to sell it to the highest bidder either. Yeah. So your own internal healing would certainly influence that. Let's look at the dilettante, another creative family archetype. Another name for a dilettante is a dabbler. Dabbler! Right, when people come to me, it's like, I think I did a spell wrong. I'm like, what did you do? Well, I was on Pinterest. I'm like, what did you do? What did you do? Dabbler! Right? That's why in school, they don't start you in, remember lab? Do you remember science class lab? Like, they don't start you with Bunsen burners and explosive shit day one, right? It's like you take this, right, with the magnet, right? You had to separate out iron filings from, like, sand or something. But I love the dilettante and its light. It's just in the shadow. It's a bit of a nightmare. It's true of any archetype, by the way. Pretension to much deeper knowledge than you actually possess. Not really good if you're broken down by the side of the road, right? Right? Oh yeah, no, it's a universal joint. It's a joint so huge, it's the size of the universe. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Delight in the arts without having to be a professional alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. And I'm just wondering there, because that's in your vocation right now. It's okay to be a spiritual dabbler, in the sense that there's so much on this, the spirituality buffet, if you will, right? Considering we used to have to like shave our heads and walk thousands of miles through the desert, change our name, live in seclusion, mountain, cave, monastery, mosque, temple, what have you, that, you know, now turn on your phone, right? You can get so much stuff that way. So you might, well, all right, so I hear that. So in terms of your vocation right now, you may be going through a creative change with that, but you don't have to be all in, but also don't be too shallow in it either. What is your life purpose? You're in a creative place with that, and of course doing the internal healing, taking care of yourself in that way will clear up your vision. Oh, good. That's as much as we talk about the cards individually. The rest of these go down pretty quickly, except for them healing mantra cards at the end. So, that's the 8th chakra hovering over your work, career, and your vocation. You visionary, healer, dilettante, or you dilettante, healing, visionary. This is heart, third eye crown. Daughters of the moon, the feminine energy, the inside stuff. Let's see what's going on there. Your experience of this. Breathe. Oh yes, as I call upon my goddesses of earth, the sign of Capricorn, powers of the north, my beloved, please, 1 card in clarity, 3 cards in clarity. For the Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading in their work, career, vocation, in this timeless read about the visionary in the 8th chakra of their work, their survival intuition, how they navigate through the world, how they survive. And not everybody makes their money that way either. A lot of people make it through their career and their vocation, but they are the high priestess on the inner with the visionary. Are you kidding me? Come on. You're getting downloads, but keep your gap shut. Well, we'll see what happens when we get the 3 cards after this, the mythic tarot. We look at it from the outside looking in, inside looking out, the masculine energy, the lower 3 chakras. But come on, the high priestess there is secret knowledge here. You're definitely tuned in, tapped in, turned on for your work, right? So, you know, if you are a healer by profession and that's how you're making your money, then really you're being guided in a visionary way with the high priestess through the physical aspect of this. I'm digging it, and that's why don't be too shallow in your spirituality, but also at the same time, you don't have to sign on any dotted lines, right? You don't have to pretend to know more than you do. In fact, I find for myself the grace of humility. It's in my book, Words of Grace, also in Carolyn Myss's work, by the way, is huge that way, to know that you don't know, but you're willing to be shown. And certainly there's a healer, third eye, heart or third eye crown thing there, so let's look. All right, I felt that. Heart, third eye crown for the Capricorn in their career with the healer, and we've got the 9 of flames, the 9 of wands, the wanderer, it's called in this deck, a Romani woman packing up her stuff, but she'd been packed up for a while. It's a 9, and right over the horizon, I don't know if you can see it, the sun is either rising or setting, can't really tell, but saying that her 10th flame is just right over that hill, almost there, conserving your energy. I wouldn't call it burnout. There's actually a card in this deck called burnout. But more the thing of, yeah, no, I do have to take care of myself. I do need to have my boundaries up a little bit. Fire, when it comes to heart, third eye crown, is usually about throat chakra, choices, decisions, what you will, what you won't, right? Element of fire, element of transformation. So this might be being a little defensive. This might be a little like, you know, 9 of wands, right away, since you're looking at my sticks, right? You're almost there. You might very well be in a healing process. Healing, you know, your willpower, your choices, your decisions. There's a lot of forgiveness stuff in that. We're forgiving ourselves, right? I didn't know any better. And if you really want to experience that deeply, slowly, I don't mean it like that, you have to eventually extend that to other people as well. I didn't know any better. I did the best I could. Maybe they didn't know any better, and they did the best they could. Simple need not imply easy. Interesting. Healer. Well, there is no healing without quantum forgiveness, because it has to do with the difference between the illusion of separation and the truth of divine unity. But let's look at that. The dilettante here. And remember, it is creative, right? And I love the first line of this. Delights in the arts without having to be a professional. People want a spiritual job, work, career, and vocation. And I understand it. We're spirit, and the planet needs it right now. But that doesn't mean you can't bring your spirit to whatever you're doing, right? You don't all of a sudden have to become grand high muckety muck, 12th degree, reiki, schmakey, eggs and bakey, right? Crazy glue a crystal on your forehead. I mean, I've seen it. Been doing this a very long time. I started my New Age metaphysical career back in the 80s, working in crystal stores. I've seen a lot of crazy come down the line. But you can't be like, but you know what? I do want to connect with my calling, that star that's calling me forward to, but I don't have to, shave my head, walk across the desert, thousands of miles, right, and change my name and all that. So, my goddesses of Earth, Capricorn, powers of the North, dilettante in the 8th, and their calling. Ooh, that's very specific. What's going on, Heartthroat, Third Eye Crown, Ace of Wands. Well, there's, Ace of Flames in this deck. So there's your 10. The download is coming, but it's an ace, right? The most phallic card in the Rider-Waite Tarot, the Ace of Wands. Creation. There is inspiration. There is new desire coming in, but it's an ace. Don't pretend to know everything about what it is, because it feels like you're in a healing process here. And this is just right around the corner, right over the hill, but it's actually up in your 8th chakra. Yeah, you can go up and get it, but you can also allow yourself to rest and heal and receive it when it's ready to drop down, right? But don't be too... Nothing gets in or out when you go like this. Nothing gets in or out. Not even blood, really. When you make a press like that, it's like, all right. It's a difference between surrender and allowing, I think. Well, it depends on the sitch. So, let's look at the sitch from the outside the situation. We've got the Mythic Tarot for the masculine energy, lower 3 chakras, from the outside looking in, inside looking out, both of that sometimes. But it's also about relationships. Root chakra, tribal relationships, any relationship more than 3 people, including your nationality, including your... I don't know, right? Ball teams, right? Your tribes, your friends. Second chakra, one-on-one relationships with other people and things. Umbilical, second chakra, sacral chakra. And solar plexus, your relationship to yourself, your honor code, your self-esteem, what you will, what you won't, what you do, what you don't, your boundaries, which I feel like 9 of Flames is very much a boundary card. But it's also conserving your energy, which is very much a healing thing. Let's look. Breathe. My gods of Earth. The sign of Capricorn. Powers of the North. 3 cards, please, in my hand for the Capricorn Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Sun watching this video, receiving this reading. Visionary. In the 8th chakra, with the card of Isis, with the High Priestess on the inner in their work. What's going on? 9 of Pentacles. No, you're good. You're good. You're solid. You're strong. You're not quite at the 10, but in terms of your physical world, you have everything that you need to pull this off. You may not have pulled it off just yet, but you've got 2 9s, right? You got the 9 of Pentacles on the outer here in your work. You've got 9 of Flames on the inner in your career. This feels very aligned, but I'm also going to say with that High Priestess referencing what's going on, that new desire, seed of fire, Ace of Flames, Ace of Wands, that to be receptive, but it feels like you're stable or you are dealing with somebody, right? Can be you from the inside looking out in a general read. At someone here who is really serving in that sense of their stability, their strength. They have their own resources. They're not necessarily on top of the world, but they ain't that far away either. All right, my gods, for their career. Healer in the 8th, 9 of flames on the inner, the wanderer on the outer. They've got the Fool. All right, Dionysus, the Fool card in the Mythic Tarot. They're about to jump. So yeah, I feel like you are at this place in your career where you know there's a new beginning, but it is a leap of faith. The wanderer on the inside, I don't feel like that's so much indecision. That's the 2 of flames for me, usually in tarot. But with the healer, it's like you're in a healer's journey. You are reserving your energy, conserving your energy, doing your own healing work, hopefully within yourself. We all do. The body heals itself naturally, but how much are we allowing it to, right? To go with it, to take care of ourselves. But even if you do have a career as a healer, it feels like there's a big leap of faith, particularly if you're in the process of healing something that you will then turn around and help others heal, which honestly, in my experience, seems to be the way it goes. I've been to the underworld and back so many times. I have the River Styx speed pass, right? And so I help people as a spiritual counselor. I have for decades, and a reader and a teacher, just passing on what I know. And I'm the fun one. Forever young. So a leap of faith here, maybe in terms of your healing, but it has a direct connection to your career. No question. Their vocation, please, my gods. Dilettante in the 8th. Ace of flames. Creation on the inner. Like, if I'm trying to feel which the leverage is here, I kind of feel like their work is very, like, good. Like, that's good. But I feel like this healer might be the leverage because the interaction between their work and their vocation, the high priestess, and that vision seems to be the bridge needs to be here in the inner world. So please, what do you got for them? Inside looking in, outside, inside looking out, outside looking in, lower 3 chakra dynamic, justice. You've got 3 major arcana cards out of 6 tarot cards total for the spread. Athena, lover, one of my, well, actually, Dionysus and Athena have been part of my lifelong pantheon. Obviously, justice is about fairness, it's about balance, but it's also looking at this from a higher perspective, more of a third eye perspective necessarily than a heart one. So you're really balancing your fire on the inner and your air on the outer. Okay. The Mythic Tarot in this spread also represents, like I said, the lower 3 chakras. So you might be dealing with people, places, and things. Major Arcana cards are like stages we go through in life, not necessarily literal. Places, if you will, that we go through in life. I was in a good place. I was in a bad place. So with this particular lineup, the leap of faith is definitely happening on the outer here, but as a result of a balancing of something in the outside world, particularly if there was an injustice done that has sparked this thing within you. You know, it's like if you're an advocate, although that is another archetype. I don't know that you need to go pro on it, though, but if an injustice has triggered you, and take your pick, a lot of that stuff is boiling to the surface so that it can be healed and cleared, no question. But to see it from the 8th chakra point of view here, I think is going to show you, it's like, okay, I don't need to be a professional social justicer or whatever. It could be about anything. It could be absolutely about anything. But your own healing process can absolutely be inspired by that, because I think you've got the foundation that's going to give you the ability to see what others can't, but then to proclaim it whether they like it or not. This is a good read. It's the word I'm looking for. Not intense. Well, 3 major arcana out of 6 is a little intense, considering 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Flames, and Ace of Flames. Let's get the last 3 down. This is usually where it gets very specific for the individual watching this, which is why I recommend you check your other signs. The MAGICK Healing Mantra deck is incredibly helpful to me. A lot of my clients have gotten the deck. So when I read them, they like whip out the book. They're like, oh yeah, I got that. I got that yesterday, whatever. But there are a couple of ways to read these. You're going to get one for each. There's the title, and then there's the mantra on the other side of it. So I'll show you how to put them together. It's fun, and if you do it with your other signs, you get a whole paragraph worth of power. Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon the ascended masters of work, career, and vocation, for the Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, I'll do it with my eyes closed to the best of my ability, the perfect healing mantras to help them heal, bring into alignment, unify, align, bring into congruence their work, career, vocation, their chakra system, their 3 levels of power. They have got the visionary in their work, High Priestess on the inner, 9 of Pentacles on the outer, which I love. So there's their healing mantra. For that, in their career, they've got the healer in the 8th, 9 of Flames, the Wanderer on the inner, and the Fool on the outer. So they're probably not ready to pull that trigger yet with the 9 of Flames on the inner, but it's there. It's there. The opportunity to jump is there. And that's their mantra. And in their vocation, the dilettante in the 8th, which it feels good, right? They don't need to all of a sudden change their name and, you know, all of that. Blood vows, they don't have to go for it, right? But with that Ace of Flames on the inner and Justice on the outer, doing this perhaps even in a just, balanced, fair way for themselves. But there's definitely some of them as social justice. They're just being inspired by something higher to balance the scales of justice here. So please, I'll take that one, their perfect healing mantra in their vocation. Yep. Hearing inner guidance, unraveling codependency, and transforming tragedy. Check the mantras. My intuition flows whenever I am still. Only I have to feel good about my choices. And loss is my reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received. It feels like there's some injustice that went on here, or will. I mean, it's a timeless read. But to kind of, loss is one of the 4 ego wounds. There's codependency, which is actually on the table as well. Abuse, which is more masculine energy. Neglect, which is more feminine energy. And maybe you have those, maybe you don't. But everybody has the wounds of loss, because no one, unless you were raised, like, I don't know how, but to deal with loss in a healthy way, to grieve in a healthy way, everybody has that baggage. And it's passed down through the generations too, by the way. So let's look at this. The visionary archetype. My intuition flows whenever I am still. Well, 9 of Pentacles is pretty still on the outer, right? With the High Priestess there, intuition flowing with the visionary. This really works. Hearing inner guidance. I'm going to read it from the bookie book because it's worth reading from the bookie book. And I think you'll see what I mean. Hearing inner guidance. My intuition flows whenever I am still. This was my mantra for today, by the way. When you hear inner guidance, you receive an affirming and defining moment of inspiration. It's on the table. It can be a new direction, a new way of seeing old patterns, or an enchanted idea that is delivered in your own voice out of the silence. Happens all the time. I also live alone, and I work from home, so I'm more available to it, I guess. When inner guidance is heard, you are ready to either hunker down into the healing benefits of your current circumstances or move forward into a brand new chapter. That's in your career. So in your work, it feels like you are hunkering down. You are like tuning in, really listening, getting the guidance, getting the vision. Don't expect other people to necessarily get it. Don't dumb it down either. At least not yet. Because sometimes it'll come out of your mouth in a different way. Because you got to meet people where they're at too. Unless they and you are not ready to. In either case, this is an opportunity to further align your soul by embracing your needs. Now, what does it say here in the healer? taking care, failing to take care for oneself, taking care of your own needs here in your career. This mantra is ideal for resolving restlessness, becoming a better listener, and being more open-minded. That makes sense there, right? So there is a stillness here. I mean, the Nine of Pentacles isn't all over the place. No. Chilling out. It's chilling out, but having not just the solid foundation of the three, but three of them, numerologically speaking. Hearing inner guidance with the Priestess on the inner. Here for, you remember, we got the healer, right, on this wanderer journey here. Not all who wander are lost, but there is an opportunity here for you to jump into the next cycle of the Fool's journey. But unraveling codependence. I mean, I have a lot of favorites in this. This one, like I said, the ego wounds. Codependency is about the eradication of your boundaries. Just is. Only I have to feel good about my choices. And there's a discussion there, no question. Burning down the village might feel like a good choice, but it's not. It doesn't feel good. No. But you know what I mean. When codependency unravels, you're able to move freely in the direction of your heart's desires. Which totally feels like what's going on here. Without needing permission from others. Said the throat chakra. Which might be that Nine of Flames. Just a little on the defensive side, right? Choices, throat chakra. What are you going to tell them? Maybe nothing at all. As codependency fades, you're able to honor the emotional reactions of others as critical stages of their healing journey without taking responsibility for them. And that's not being callous. That's not being cruel. Just understand that if you're living your life without being honest, without being authentic, without following your dreams, you are hemorrhaging power to keep somebody else comfortable. And I understand survival situations here, but this is your career. This is about you healing. This is about you being the healer that you came here to be, even if you're your only client, right, so to speak. So only you have to feel good about your choices here. I could easily see somebody here saying, you know what? I'm going to keep my yap shut, hear my inner guidance in my work. I am out of here. I am out of here. I don't care if they like it, if they don't like it. I have to heal my own heart on this. I have to take the leap of faith. Only I have to feel good about my journey. This mantra is ideal for healing family dynamics because that's where we usually learn it from. Cultivating emotional freedom, which is not freedom from the bad feeling emotions, it's the freedom to feel everything without burning down the village, and reclaiming personal power. Healer, wanderer on the inner, fool on the outer. Unraveling codependency. I still don't feel like you're telling anybody about this, though, and that's okay. You can chew. I find there are three modalities in the throat chakra: spit, swallow, or chew. Spit it out, swallow it, or chew on it until you are ready to spit or swallow. I know, earth signs. The dilettante. In your vocation, now again, dabbler or, okay, all right, this is lovely. I want to follow my path. I want to do what I got to do here. Because there is this inspiration coming in for you, this creation, this impetus that added to the Nine of Flames could very much bring you the Ten of Flames, which in this deck is called Celebration. It's not that womp womp necessarily you see in the Ten of Wands, but that there is a balancing of the scales here. Like if this is about inequitable pay or something like that, it could totally be that. And your soul, your higher self, your spirit, sort of saying, all right, we don't need to sign on any dotted lines, but I think we're out of here. Here's the inspiration. Because you're transforming tragedy. Loss is my reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received. And you know, that doesn't make it easy. No, that is simple. That is not easy. They're not the same thing. We all have the wounds of loss. Unprocessed loss is about not experiencing grief. That's why you take the time that you need, but get help, right? Everybody needs help processing grief because I was not trained as a child how to deal with loss in any way, shape, or form. Very few of us are, right? But if you don't, it turns into anxiety. Unprocessed grief turns into that walking on eggshells, waiting for the next shoe to drop, free-floating anxiety. You don't know why. So, transforming tragedy. We all go through them. Like, no, into each life some rain must fall, right? Trying to keep my sense of humor. But it also does make sense in your vocation. Maybe you have to really let go of something here. That may be very, very hard to do, but I think it's going to be hard to do with the people that are involved here. Maybe not so much with you in your own energy field. Loss is my reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received. When tragedy is transformed, you see that endings foreshadow the inevitable arrival of exciting new beginnings. It's the wheel of the wheel of the year, the lunar cycle, the waxing and waning. It may not feel good to lose the things that once defined you, but it is life's way of expanding your identity to invite more passion, joy, and synchronicity into your reality. I gave up a career in show business willingly back in the 80s in order to follow my spiritual path. And I dabble. Sure I do. I've been behind the scenes. I've been to Fashion Week. I've been in movies, all that kind of stuff. Lovely place to visit, wouldn't want to live there. I'm really glad I'm not in that, and because I would have been dead by now. But it is Way's life of expanding your identity to invite more passion, joy, and synchronicity into your reality, right? So you're letting go of the old and the new is coming in. As you transform tragedy, any degree of loss merely sets the stage for the arrival of greater gains. And it's true. You look back, you see it, but it's really hard when you're going through it. This mantra is ideal for overcoming personal struggles, mourning the death of a loved one, and releasing regret, right? So that could be, absolutely, this could be the loss of, just anything in particular, but the inspiration to do it is there. The desire for the new thing is in there as well. Is it being done justly? Do understand, if you pretend to know more than you do about this, it is not going to go well. So putting this together, I'll do the blessing in a minute, but hearing inner guidance, unraveling codependence, and transforming tragedy. But if you do it this way with the mantra, loss is my reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received. Only I have to feel good about my choices, and my intuition flows whenever I am still. This does not feel like a hugely active external reading. Not with this, the Knight of Pentacles, in your work, and this with the Justice in your vocation, but in your career, you're getting ready. You're just not there just yet. Let me put it together for you, shall I? In a blessing, as I am wont to do, as I am guided to do, because I have what's called the grace of prayer. I always have. Prayer just flies out my mouth. And it's in my book, Words of Grace, if you want to pray for the grace of prayer. Please take a nice deep breath. As I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine for the Capricorn collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, may they be blessed with all that they need in their work, that they embrace their capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, with a willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. Maybe not just yet, though, because they are channeling it through. They are keeping it secret, keeping it safe, keeping it sacred, and very much standing on their own 2 feet with their own solid foundation, even if that's not, completely financial. Their self-worth is intact, and they are fronting that way, or they are dealing with somebody like that, and that they may hear their inner guidance because their intuition flows whenever they are still and in their career. That they embrace their passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Ability to help transform pain into healing on this journey, this wandering that they're doing right now. There's probably some dissatisfaction here too as I hold the card, just going on in general. But right over the hill, they're running up that road, they're running up that hill with maybe some problems, but They're dealing with it if they're healing themselves, because there is a leap of faith of the Fool. A new beginning of the cycle awaits them, but only they have to feel good about their choices. Unraveling codependency. Remember, that's not always in romantic, familial relationships. That can certainly be pleasing a toxic boss so they don't explode. Jinkies. That's why I'm glad I work for myself and the gods. And that in their vocation, their spiritual calling, they can delight in the spiritual arts without having to be a professional, alerting them to the danger of becoming superficial in their pursuits with some sort of new desire, inspiration, creativity, keyword creation written on the card there for them. Heart, third eye crown, probably seeing it in the third eye, but chewing on it in the throat. But to do it wisely, to do it balanced, to make the clearest, healthiest mental decision on this, and that the scales be just. And maybe that is balancing the scale of loss and gain as they transform tragedy, loss being their reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received, so that they can heal, so that they can grow, so that they can create, so that they can bring their chakras into an alignment, which is a benefit to every living thing, and so that they can come and fulfill their life purpose, fulfill their role in the divine plan through work, career, vocation, for their well-being, and for the well-being of all. So mote it be. So it is. Good read. Solid, but don't pull the trigger yet. Well, and if you want a private read, easy enough to do. There's a video in the description box here on YouTube, booking a reading with Mel. And shows you how to do it. It's very, very easy, but it's a fun vid. And certainly if you like this video, hit like. Help the other sea goats, Capricorns, find the video. And if you want more of me here on YouTube, subscribe and hit that notification bell, because I'm putting these things out when they are done, no longer on that treadmill. Why? Because I am on Patreon, patreon.com/DrawingTheCircle. Field day over there, so do check it out if you feel so called. Otherwise, wish you all the very best and the very blessed of your work, career, and vocation, my beloved sea goats. Well, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.